All right. It's business roundtable time. We will see if anybody is able to make it on the show today. Nobody has come a calling quite yet, but that's okay. Sometimes it takes everybody a little bit of time to get in to their spots so that they can participate in the show. So we will run with the traditional 15-minute rule, where if people don't show up in 15 minutes, I got other stuff to do. So we'll see how this goes. In the meantime, I'll be able to watch the Royals game as it's getting started here in just a few minutes. So that's not a bad thing. Could be worse. Could be worse. Dun 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 dun. What is the story on the Royals game today? Let's see here. I can at least talk about that while we wait. The Royals. This overview, we got oh wait, somebody has joined the program. That would be my good friend Sandy.
Hello.
Hey Sandy, how are you doing?
I am doing well. I'm crazy, but doing well.
Excellent. And we've
Story of
got Mike.
My life.
Say that again. Say that again. Let's see here. Sandy's, you're breaking up a little bit there, Sandy. And Mike's on.
Yay. Finally, someone to make everyone else look better.
How are you?
Who, me? I'm doing
right.
well. I'm busy. How's Mike been?
Oh, I don't have my camera on here. No, we're doing well. We're doing well. I'm trying to get some, just fighting the stuff, trying to get the loans closed.
Yeah, and
like that's all we do.
That's what you do. All right.
Fight, get the finish line, keep going, jump on another one. And
so, well, let's do introductions while we're here at the top. First of all, this is Livin, Life, and Style Business Roundtable for April 2nd, 2025. Brought to you by Livin, Life, and Style Travel. And our guests so far today, with more possibly on the way. Hold on, let me get myself. Now look at that. See, now I'm more in frame. Isn't that great? My guest today so far, Sandy Reed. Tell us who you are, Sandy. Tell me what you do.
Hi, I'm Sandy Reed. I'm a realtor with Chartwell Realty and the Reed team. We are real estate specialists out of Lee Summit, but we serve the entire metro area on both sides of the state line.
All right. Fantastic. And Mike in an adjacent industry. Tell us about what you do.
An adjacent industry, yes. Mike with Summit Lending, mortgage broker. We're based out of Lee Summit. And like I said, we're creative, always trying to get stuff done, always come with the problem solving, especially in this market. It seems to be prevalent.
Fantastic.
Get a lot of practice at that. So lending regulations change and tighten up all the time. So it seems like we battle a lot of that stuff.
Has there been a lot of changes recently?
But they always change stuff, and it's like when the market tightens up and they just tweak little things. And it's usually sometimes they just tweak one little thing or whatever, and all of a sudden you come in and go, oops. If you don't, they send out guideline changes all the time. So
very good.
So it just happens. You just gotta, and you can never stay up on it all. I mean, I could, I guess, but we usually find out when something goes in and underwriter goes, bing,
bing.
Can't do that anymore.
Excellent. Yeah. So, what do we know this week? We know the Royals got started off to a pretty hot start. What are you guys looking for? There's the question for the day. What are you guys looking forward to with spring upon us?
freaking warm weather. Tired
Freaking
and
warm
cold. Last week I put my hoodie away. I put all my stuff away. I'm done wearing shorts around. And then this week I was like, where'd I put that?
Dude.
I got my space heater going right now.
Yeah. I got one down here. And then on top of that, we had 70-degree weather all week last week, right up till Friday.
Yes. I turned my air on.
And then on Saturday, I had baseball games, which was freaking miserable, cold, and terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. My grandson played last night down at that that Metro or KC, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm not going to that. It was cold.
Oh man, it was. And
Wet,
Sunday was
cold.
worse, man. Sunday was worse than the baseball tournament.
Yeah.
But,
no, thanks.
So we got Zach Poland jumping in. Zach, why don't you tell us who you are and who you're with real quick?
Zach Poland, Conflow Strategic, help businesses gain, maintain, and find more profit in their business.
Excellent. Glad to have you. So the question of the day is, what are you looking forward to until spring? Sandy had to bail. Her camera froze up on her. I expect her to probably come back so she can answer the question next. But Zach, what are you looking forward to?
Yeah, what I started to say was, earlier, is like, I'm just looking for the housing market, a little bit of an uptick. I don't know if it's going to happen. It's
right.
It's been all of 22, all of 20, all of 23, all of 24, and they're all the experts are telling us, here we go. It's right around the corner. I just listened to a guy yesterday who said like 25 is going to be the worst year yet. And 26 will be banging.
Well,
so and that's kind of been my take the whole time is I'm going to win by attrition. Like everybody else is falling out.
Right. Well, I think we're, economically, we're looking at a lot of upheaval in the world.
Right.
And that kind of stuff is going to trickle down to people buying houses and things of that sort. Interesting. Sandy, I'm backstage. Oh, there she is. All right.
Backstage in the green room.
In the green room. Sandy, we're bringing her back.
Yeah, hopefully my connection works better this time.
So, all right, Sandy.
Yeah, AOL.
You got mail.
Got a disc in the mail.
I'm waiting for that.
Really?
Yeah. I was just telling somebody that the other day. I have a real estate license back in the early 90s, like 1992, I think. And I was high tech because I had that in my house. And so I could get the MLS in my house, and I had a dial-up modem, and I would like dial it up, and that thing is doing all that ding ding ding, go upstairs, get a cup of coffee, come back or whatever, come back down, and 20 minutes later get logged on.
Go back and watch that old War Games movie with Matthew Broderick. Or no, not Matthew Broderick. It was the guy from the Ferris Bueller.
I know
Ferris
this.
Bueller.
One of my favorite movies.
But I can't think of his name all of a sudden. But he was in War Games.
Yeah, Matthew.
And they had that modem.
Matthew Broderick, isn't it?
Is it Matthew Broderick? Okay, maybe it is.
That's the one where they hacked the Pentagon or whatever.
Yeah. And he had that modem that he actually took the handset from the wired phone, the corded phone, and he had to put it on the modem.
Oh, yeah.
So the computer would receive the information. Good times. We've come such a long way. I just got a device.
A game?
Right, exactly. Yes. You want to play a game? I got a device called a Tableau. Has anybody heard of one of these? I haven't gotten it to work yet, so I can't claim its greatness yet. But yeah, Andy, no. Anyway, so a Tableau, basically you plug in an over-the-air television antenna to it, and then it operates and sends the signal out to all of your devices at your house. It gives you a guide, it gives you DVR, all live over the air television. So it basically gives you access with all of the conveniences of your old Sandy thinks her signal's dying, but I can sit here and look at her, and she's still moving around. And
They're moving.
the camera's not frozen or anything. I can hear her too, but she doesn't seem to be hearing us.
There she goes. Oh, there.
Yep. Nope. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I'm here. My signal just is all of a sudden is not wonderful, and this is Google. So I don't know.
Oh.
I bought a mesh network for my house to replace the regular internet, the regular Wi-Fi modem. So
Yeah,
it was
I do hear those.
$99.
I do hear those help.
It was $99 because my office is back in the other end of the house from the modem, and so I would inevitably lock up and do stuff like that. But it was like it gives you 3 different points, and you put them all throughout the house, and then it does the whole thing. So it seems to have helped. It's a little faster, and it was only $99.
Yeah, that's what my Tableau cost. I just can't get it to work now. All right,
Tableau.
Well, that's the thing that I plug the over-the-air antenna, so I get all the over-the-air channels, but it like works with my Google Home and all of my apps on my televisions and shit. So I have a guide and DVR and everything.
Never heard of it.
I got to get it working. Well, I dropped YouTube TV because it was like $95 a month. I'm like, God dang, I can get like 5 streaming services for that price, and so I've cut back.
I don't watch TV, so
well, then you don't have this problem. All right, Sandy, your turn. What is the thing you are looking forward to in the spring?
The big news, in my opinion, is the Jackson County lawsuit that Lee Summit filed against Jackson County for taxes.
What about it now?
It was the lawsuit
that is good.
that they said that Jackson County cannot raise your taxes more than 15% a year, and this is based on what happened in 2023, and so we are in and that's year this year too. So yeah, but it should in theory plus at 15% tax increase on each assessed value.
You know
And the other thing about that is that they
Can you
supposedly
hear me?
they're going to give
Can you hear me?
credit on your taxes for some people that were over that limit on that 2023 assessment.
Okay.
The real solution to this.
Hear me now.
The real solution. Yeah, we can hear you, Sandy. It's a little broken up every once in a while, but we've been hearing you.
We're filling in the blanks.
There you go. The real solution to the whole property tax problem is like abolish property taxes.
Yeah.
How about I bought my property? It's mine. I don't know you jack squat for it. Like, it's mine.
100%.
All right, Zach. Well, as Sandy tries to improve her signal, it's your turn. What are you looking forward to with the upcoming, with spring upon us?
Well, baseball is back.
Amen.
I like that. I don't know. Was that last week? Yeah, last week was opener.
Yeah. I got the new FanDuel Sports Network on Amazon, so I get to watch all the Royals games now. I didn't get to watch any of them last year.
Yeah, me neither. It sucked.
Yeah.
So it's on. I was trying to look. I've got MLB too, so it's on FanDuel though.
Yeah, if you just get on, if you have Amazon Prime, you can just get on and subscribe through there. That's the way I did it. I got it for $100 for the year because it's like $25 per month or something like that. And it's like this baseball season 6 months long. It's $120 just for 6 months if you do it monthly. So, not that I care about the NBA, but now I'm apparently an Oklahoma City Thunder fan and maybe a St. Louis Blues hockey fan. Because,
Why Oklahoma Thunder? What's
because they're included in the
Oh,
FanDuel for this area. So
Got
we get Blues, Thunder. I would have preferred to have actually gotten like like the Grizzlies, the Memphis Grizzlies, but no dice.
You get what you get.
that
Oh,
opener was fun until it wasn't fun. The last inning,
Right.
They
At least
tried to make a game of it.
At least we didn't have the opener that the Brewers had against the Yankees. Oh my!
Yeah.
Did you see that game?
And then we went up there and did it to them again.
Right. Oh, they've been terrible. Yesterday they beat us, so that was their first win of the season.
Yeah.
But oof, rough start for the Brew Crew.
Yeah.
Okay, Sandy.
I'm back. I switched to my phone.
Watch this work. This will work best of everything. So we were catching. There was a lawsuit between. I don't know who the parties were, but Jackson County was one of them. Mike touched on it a little bit. And what is the potential remedy? I think Mike said something about possible rebates or something to certain people or something along those lines.
I think it's going to come in the form of rebates because they've already spent the money from the 20
credit, a tax credit.
Right. And so this is with the Missouri State Tax Commission is the one who determined Lee Summit and Blue Springs and Independence, all the different cities had filed lawsuits, but they actually went to court this week. And I think it was on the Lee Summit one. And that the tax commission says, no, you cannot, 15% is most you can cap. So, and so so then the question becomes, are we capping it off of the 2023 assessment? If we're capping 2023, then so they're going to have to make those numbers adjust, and then before we can do 2025. So I don't know. I think there's a lot of stuff to be figured out yet.
Yeah, and I think originally that tax committee told them that Jackson County that they were wrong and they couldn't raise it. And Frank White and those guys were like,
Frank White just does whatever the hell he wants to do. Pardon me.
And then so that's why they had to sue them because they had already that tax commission had already said they overstepped. And then Frank White said, "We're not doing it. We're not giving that money back." So, and
Frank
now
White does what he's told. I want to clarify.
Right. So he, so they'll give. So yeah, like Sandy said, they've already spent the money, and half of 25 is money. So they're gonna they'll give some kind of they'll jack the price up. They'll do like how they do at the car lot. They'll jack the price up and then give you a discount, give you a rebate.
Yeah.
We'll take the new assessment and then we'll give you back. They'll jack it up $500 and give you back $100.
Yeah.
Didn't that stuff mess with the? I mean, didn't that go against like the Hancock Amendment if it's going up by over 15%? I know that has something. I don't remember all the details. I just remember when I was in city government and we discussed property tax raises. That might be on the mill level, on the mill rate.
The mill levy. Yeah.
And that's what that applies to.
Yeah. And I know that on my closings already for this year, they are operating off of the mill levy, what they think the mill levy for 2025 is going to be. So if this may change everything and they may revert back. So I haven't had a chance to talk to my title people yet to see how this is going to affect what they're doing.
It's hard to say.
Right.
Yeah. Now I do want to take a moment here for anybody who's listening that is 62 years or older or eligible for Social Security. If you in Jackson, well, actually in almost every county, they have got a tax freeze for those people. And in Jackson County, you can go online and fill out a form, or you can go mail it, or you can take it up there. In Cass County, you have to present it personally. And I'm not sure about the other counties, but on the Missouri side, that was a rule that they changed last year also to be more beneficial to seniors and people on fixed incomes and things like that with the senior tax freeze. So if you have not signed up with that yet, go ahead and get that done. But that won't apply for this year. That'll apply for next year. So.
And it's not a total tax freeze. We looked into it. My dad did it. It's only freeze on like one certain part of it or something, but it's something.
Yeah. So.
Well, fun times. I'm
Mhm.
sure it'll be a mess, which basically is going to end up meaning that the county is going to be short on funds.
Sure. Then we can't. That's why we can't put a new ballpark in.
Probably. I have no doubt that it contributes to that. That's.
I think they need to do an audit on the county.
I'm Doge that puppy. I'm all in. I'm in.
Doge that puppy.
I think they should do everything. The schools. I think the schools need it. All the school districts need it, and just keep going. Don't stop.
Well,
that's my personal opinion, but they should be accountable. They've had for decades of just doing whatever and coming back every time they turn around and saying, now we need more money for the fire department. And now we need more money. They seem to like that a lot. And,
and sometimes it's legit, but you need to have, there should be some sort of a checks and balances, because like any bureaucracy, there's people that are just wasting money right and left and not utilizing time properly and things like that. Any other business would audit periodically. So I don't know why they don't.
Absolutely.
I just got it.
And it's funny because they get offended if you even, when you mention.
Oh, I know.
Auditing. Yeah. Like, how dare you?
This Friday. Sorry, I had a baseball lesson question. I had to get that replied to.
Priorities, right?
That's the way it goes around here. I got to make sure he gets to baseball lessons and whatnot. So,
sure.
I'll tell you, dude, that boy, he has had an increase in arm strength like nobody's business. We went to do lessons last weekend, and our guy wasn't able to do it. So I just sat down and I caught him. It's been a long time since I've been this catcher pitching lessons. Dude, he beat the hell out of my hand with his fastball. Part of it was me being, not quite getting it in the mitt quite right, and got too much of my finger, but damn.
It's scary when they get a certain age.
Oh, he's got whistle on his ball now, man. He throws it like right in there, and he throws a curveball. Like, it's kind of crazy.
How old is he now?
He's 12. He turns 13 in June.
Holy cow!
Oh yeah. If you see his school pictures this year, it's like the boy is gone.
Mm-hmm.
He's not quite looking like a full-blown teenager, but the boy is gone.
Yep.
Yeah, and your food bill went up.
Oh God, it never stops, dude. That boy started eating more than my daughters as high schoolers by the time he was 8 years old.
Oh yeah,
he was eating more than both of my daughters combined when my daughters were in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even close. Yeah. So, all right. Well, I had to move pitching lessons up to 3:00 on Friday. So there we go. Problem solved.
There you go.
Put it on the calendar. Calendar for the month. So what do you know, Zach? You've been awfully quiet over there. Are you seeing issues in the business world with your coaching stuff compared to what they're seeing in the real estate industry with maybe slowdowns?
It's a little bit slower start. Just a little bit slower start. There's some people that are still doing what they're doing, but over the last couple of weeks, I've talked to several people, and they're not quite as busy as what they normally are this time of year. Usually they're backed up a little bit more. I don't think it's anything because naturally, I mean, March is the month where everything just kind of takes off for, I would assume, about every industry. It'll go like gangbusters until August. Then August will be a little bit of a slowdown. Then it should pick back up again in September. But just a little bit slower start for a lot of the tradespeople. Still busy, just not as backlogged.
And I just had this conversation like yesterday with people from my host agency for my travel agency, and because the first 3 months of the year are what is known as wave season, and it's supposed to be the busiest time of the year, right? It's supposed to be the busiest time of the year for the travel industry, and they had other agents who did really well and were really busy, but I wasn't. I don't know. It's like I told them, I'm like, well, I'm perfectly willing to accept that it's just my fault and I'm not good at this. That's entirely plausible. But I sure didn't see a whole lot of, like, I had more business in December. I had more business at the end of November after Black Friday than I did in February. Right. January was pretty good. March was better. February was terrible.
Well, and I've got one of my, and I kind of go off of your industry a little bit. One of my guys is in the dog boarding business, and spring break, he was down over 25%, and he's trying to figure out why. And he follows the vacation industry and all that kind of stuff because that's where that's where the majority of the boarding comes from when people travel,
right?
And it was a couple of Saturdays ago I'd heard that vacations and cruises and all that were like the 25 was going to be a record-setting year, and it's going to be like you can't book them for 12 months out, and they're just booked up. And I call and tell him that, and he's like, there's no way. I mean, but it's the same deal. That's such a far out booking that it might not catch up for him after a while. But spring break was slow for him. The pre-bookings for June, he doesn't have they're not quite where they normally are, but it's still a long ways to go. But I've kind of been watching those. I don't know. I don't know what people are doing. I don't know if people are waiting to see what the tariffs thing is going to do. I think a lot of people don't understand it. I know they don't understand it.
Oh yeah, nobody understands. I mean,
it's
I don't want to say I understand it, but I don't not understand it, especially compared to lots of people. I mean, a lot of people don't have a freaking clue what's going on.
I mean, it's there's a lot of industries that throw that around, whether it's even warranted or not. Like in the construction industry, there'll be guys will go to work and there'll be suppliers blame steel supply on, we don't know what the tariffs are going to do, or buying new vehicles. Well, we don't know what the tariffs are going to do. They have no idea, so they're just not doing it.
I said somebody posted one the other day, and Jack, they said it was a 10% increase because of the tariffs, and it was like, how?
Hadn't even happened yet.
Not even there yet. That was a month ago.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, and everybody just wants to. I'm really up in the air on it, right? I mean, in the tariff. I mean, this isn't the first round of doing this. We did this back in 2016, 2017, the first time Trump was in office, and we all thought, oh my God, cataclysmic end to the economy with all these
everything
tariffs.
Everything is.
Honestly, everything got better until COVID.
Right.
Yeah.
Everything got better until COVID. It did take a little bit right at the beginning because this is a serious upheaval of the normal order of things, the way things have been done since at least like the mid 90s, but probably going all the way back to those, Bretton Woods and the reconstruction of Europe after World War II. I mean, that's when we really started taking tariffs off the table with people. And so this is like I don't think people have a full grasp. I mean, this is like New Deal big stuff.
Yeah.
I don't have a grasp on anything other than to be mad about.
Exactly.
So,
but they just want to be mad about it.
We have an outrage culture, and we also have, my favorite term is we have selective moral outrage. So like people are like the logic has left the building.
Well,
So people that are so mad about one thing, and you go, well, wait a minute, your guy did this, the same thing, and that's different, or whatever. It's just they're only mad about.
I like to compare it to basically we've turned our politics into spectator sports, and you have your team and you root for your team, right? I am assuming most people here on this show were Chiefs fans.
Mm-hmm.
And they were even Chiefs fans when Tyler Palko was the quarterback and Romeo Crennel was going 2-14. I'm sure you were still fans. You might have thought your side was awful, but you damn sure weren't going to sit there and go to a Raiders fan and be like,
No.
"Oh no, you guys are awesome. We suck, and you guys are awesome." You weren't telling Denver fans when Peyton Manning was running up and down the field on us after he rejected us as a team. We weren't like, "Oh, you know what? That Peyton Manning, he's really good. I really like that guy." No, that didn't happen. And that's exactly how our politics is behaving now. It's like everybody loved Joe Rogan. Everybody loved Elon Musk. He was, the savior of the green movement. He was the climate change guy who was solving more of the world's problems than anybody. And then all of a sudden, the minute that he decides that
it's when he brought the chainsaw to the table.
Oh, yeah. Well, he didn't.
Yeah.
In his defense, he didn't bring it. Malay brought it from Argentina.
Somebody gave it to him.
Yeah.
Malay from Argentina. So
that I think, and going back to travel and things like that, I know my daughter works for the federal government. And when everything first came out with like this, they were like, what do we do? And I think that there's a lot of people that are just sitting and squirreling their little, nuts away, not knowing if they're going to be working, if they're not going to be working, what the new layout is going to look like. And I imagine that there are people that normally would take trips and book trips aren't doing it because of the uncertain nature of their final employment status.
Oh, there's a lot of that. There's also, because with me, I'm an agent in the United States and Canada, right? So I have Canadian clients. I'm pretty sure a lot of those Canadian clients, when they see an American phone number ring them, they're not interested in talking to me. Yeah. I do have I have two Canadian clients right now that are booked on trips. One is doing an Alaska trip in May, and the other one is doing I think it's it's a European cruise in November. They've neither one called to say I'm canceling. So
can you get a Canadian phone number?
Can I? Oh, I hadn't thought about it, but I probably could. But there's no way they're mistaking this accent as Canadian. Don't you know?
Project. They've got a project.
My French accent is not so good. So I can't pretend to be from Montreal. It's like, yep, sorry, I'm just a hick from the middle of the United States. I can do that accent a lot better. This is my family. Yeah. The Canadians are pissed, man.
Yeah,
they're pissed off. They're like really pissed off.
And my whole philosophy on all of this is get myself a big old fat bucket of popcorn and sit back and watch the show, because it's all going to play out. Everything is, it's the 24-hour news cycle, and and stuff like that I'm just, people are like, well, what do you think? I'm like, I don't know, because I don't think half the stuff that is trying to be implemented will ever succeed. So I'm not going to get all up in arms because it's never going to happen. So just have to kind of sit back and see what's, it's like throwing stuff at the wall, see what sticks and see what falls off. In the meantime, sit back and watch the show.
It's like all the hubbub about, he's talking about wanting to run for a third term. And I'm like, dude, I've heard this from every two-term president of my life.
You know what's funny
except for Ronald Reagan, because by the time the end of Ronald Reagan's second term, he was, probably already suffering from a little bit of Alzheimer's. He probably didn't even know he should ask about a third term. So,
right.
But other than that, every two-term president, I even think Bush did.
You would think.
I know Clinton did, and I know Obama did.
You would think that, and Obama did get a third term, but
well, that's yes,
that's a whole other subject. But it's my thing. My funny thing about Trump is that what I always think is that, like, for someone who is the best troll in the world, and but I can't imagine like these people. We had the whole 4 years, the first term. You had the year before that he was running. You had the whole year before this term going on. I mean, how many times do you get trolled before you finally stop falling for it? Like, I mean, over and over. It's like you see something coming out, and I laugh because I'm like, here we go. And then they're all over it. And it's like, when would you finally learn?
They never win. They never win, and they still keep trying.
They just keep on going. And it's like, oh my God. And I remember when he ran the first time, and every time they would come up with some thing, me and my dad go to breakfast every week on Sunday morning, and my dad would be like, this is it, they got him. And I was just like, no, they don't. Like, it's so like,
they got him. Yeah, they got him.
It's fine. And he's
And the thing
is,
he's clearly an established business person, but his secret power, in my opinion, is to do something to take your eye away from what they're talking about this week. So he does something outrageous, so they forget about what they're talking about this week, and then they go on to something else, and then he continues and does everything under the great media manipulator.
Yeah,
he was a professional wrestler.
The media is the ones that are usually.
Did not know that. That was crazy. I did not know he was a professional wrestler till a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. I mean, like,
I didn't know that.
yeah, he was on the WWF. He got in a fight with Vince McMahon in the ring and all kinds of stuff.
No, I do remember that.
Yeah, dude. Trump was doing all that kind of stuff, dude. So Trump's entire media approach when he starts to get bad news is he slides in under the ring ropes coming in from the crowd with a steel chair, and smokes a dude in the back of the head.
And they fall for it every time.
My God!
And then
and knows how to use emotions. For sure.
Oh yeah.
Well, but the media does too. And the thing is that he's got a different motive really than the media. The media is using it to program you and tell you what to think. But they're falling for it every time, and it's so wild to me that after all this time, like, how many times do you have to get slapped in the face before you finally learn to move your head? And they just keep falling for it. And so to me, it's hilarious. And it's like, and people are like, oh my God, and they're rabid. The people are rabid. And it's just humor. I like to troll. I love to troll, but like, I'm not even on that level. And and we're only on like month 3 or whatever. So it's just wild. It's wild to me. But the whole problem is it's easy to manipulate uneducated.
And
if you don't know anything, if you don't know about you don't know your rights, it's easy to tell you that that you lost them, or that you don't have them, or that someone else, the things that they just come up with, and they take, like the whole thing that they've done with Medicare, like, they said he was going to make Medicare cuts. That's their big thing. He's going to cut Medicare.
Right.
If you look back into the original quote that came out of that,
Mm-hmm.
was a Democrat staffer who said, the staffer, or it might have been senator or whatever, but it was a Democrat, somebody who said he's going to make he's going to cut $1 trillion out of the budget. There's no way he can do that without cutting Medicare. That's what started it. They never said it, and that's how it started. And so those guys all go boom, and they go Medicare, wow, and they've gone ever since then. That's where it came.
And more than once, he has said that he was not going to cut Medicare. He personally out of his mouth, but yeah.
But when I watch the cycle and how the things go and how they take what, like I don't believe shit that anybody says. Like when I see anything on there, outrage, I don't believe it. And I have to look and see what started it, because they manipulate. They have so many straw man arguments too. The straw man argument is the one that gets me. Like, if you don't, whatever, you hate gay people. Like if you think, I mean, that's just,
has explicitly on multiple occasions across two terms now said not going to touch entitlement programs, much to my dismay. Like, if there's something I don't like, it's like, correct, you're not going to touch entitlement programs because you're an old school 1980s, 1990s Democrat. That is who the Republican Party has elected, and he's sticking by it.
I saw a thing the other day that outlined, I don't remember what it was on. I think it was Bill Maher or something, that she basically outlined that his exact principles, like anti-war and that, anti-entitlement, all that stuff, are actually Democratic principles, and now they're pissed that he's like sticking
the old
to
school
them.
Democrats. Yeah. He'd be a JFK Democrat, and that's what he is. He's a JFK Democrat.
He would hijack. Yeah, I mean, he hijacked the center of their party.
Right.
That's what it is.
And knowing the media, and knowing what's going on, but he saw, and I never realized, like, the first thing, if you read the first, when his first term, there was like 17 people. This is where my wife and I were talking about it one day. There was 17 people on the stage at the very first Republican debate.
Oh God, that was such a mess
back then, right? And if you notice how many of those people instantly dropped out, and then like everybody left, and so that told me at the time, like they made it a whole different, they never tell you the truth, the real story, but the real story had to be that those polling numbers, especially because his big thing at the time was immigration, and everybody else was fighting it, like the Rhino Republican people.
That was,
but
I think,
everybody else immediately fell out, and I told my wife, like, that the only thing for that is that polling had to be there. That polling had to say that the American people were off the chart wanting immigration under control, and that he was banging that one thing, and everybody else fell out. And because they had to have seen, because so many of them just dropped right away. Jeb Bush had $1 billion that's what they were saying. He was going to win that because he had $1 billion war chest already, because everybody had given him all the money, and he dropped right out. And and so like that tells you the real talk is that polling back then was so strong,
but
for getting their shit together, cleaning it up. People were sick and tired of the corruption and the money.
But I don't think it was just the immigration issue back in 2016. I think people were like, okay, here's actually somebody who's not in the club.
Right.
I think that was the win. That was the entire win. This dude's not in the club. Right. I mean, I have a whole conspiracy built around how 2016 broke down.
I was the same way, because when he came out, I was like, give me a break. Like,
right. The whole idea being that I honestly believe that he was helped out by the Democrats, because they thought, well, nobody would really vote for him, and this will shoot Hillary right in. And then basically they unleashed Frankenstein's monster and didn't know how to bring him back into the laboratory.
Correct. And I've been anti-establishment my whole life, and anti-whatever. And so I had a real good friend of mine's like, how can you be like that? And I said, I've never changed. Like, when we were in high school, we wanted the band to just be off our back. Just get the band off my back. Like, I never changed. I don't want all that. And so when I started, at first I was like, this is a joke, and this is a disaster, and him against Hillary and everything else is going to be a disaster. But when I started realizing who was attacking him, and that's what I was watching, who's attacking him, like both sides are coming at him. And all these people now that are, Lindsey Graham was one of them, Mitch McConnell was one of them. All these people were all in on, and I started seeing all the people, boom, like this. And then all of a sudden I said, wait a second, like everybody, all the people that I don't like and are attacking him. So to me, that was like, that was a big sign. So the more they did that, And the more they hammered it, the more stuff that came out, like the closer I got. Like that's just how I figured. Like you're over the target.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I'm not like the hugest Trump fan either. There's things he's already been doing that I don't like.
Absolutely.
Right? Lots of stuff. But
and I didn't vote for someone to be perfect.
Well,
and
no,
so
that's fair.
I
But at the end of the day, I better than the alternative.
I'm a burn it down and start over guy. I mean, that's the way I look at it.
That's kind of where I'm at.
My choice, I would go in there and just burn it down. And I shouldn't say this on the internet, but if it was me, I'd say set the gallows up outside the Congress, start dragging them out there, just take a few of them, start stringing them up, and they'll all get back in line pretty quick.
Well,
I have relatives in Luxembourg, and they always want to talk politics, and it is the hardest thing to explain to somebody, that isn't, that they're more closer to socialism than what we, and why the whys and the hows of how, and their big thing was, how can you have a convicted felon be, get elected as a president? They just couldn't. That, and the fact that they're very much more into the environmental stuff in Europe, and so they were concerned about that aspect of things. But they also have,
when you realize,
most of Europe, they've got multiple parties too. Let's face it, we're really a two-party system because the other ones don't have enough energy to.
Parliamentary politics is way different than what we do here.
Yeah. And so it's always an interesting conversation. And it is kind of a sad state of affairs when you go to the polling station and you have to choose the lesser of two evils, because that's kind of what I think of a lot of America feels anymore. That you just kind of have to pick and choose your battles that you're hoping to win, because it's such a divisive political landscape that we have created. But that's what sells news. That's
that's what keeps everybody stirred up. And if everybody's stirred up over here, then they're not really paying attention over here. And if they think the amount of people that say the same thing is what just really gets me. As you ask, why does he's racist? 34 felonies. Like, come on. And it's like you didn't see through that, but all of the stuff, it's like there's people that parrot the same exact thing. And then
and what they hear is what they're fed by the news stations, that, as most of us, unfortunately, what we know is what, unless you dig deep. Now, Eric would never, you're a classic example of digging way down into the weeds, but most people don't. And so that, and then all they really have to go by is what they're hearing on the news or reading in the papers.
It amazes me. It amazes me when I talk to people, especially people who tend to be towards the other side. I don't talk to many that are like completely psycho about being on the other side, but I do have some friends who are very not they're not fans of Trump. They would not vote for Trump, but they're still rational humans, right? A lot of like disaffected Republican types. And I find that it's important to like work on breaking down some of those barriers. It's like, calm the F down over one guy. How about we just focus, as opposed to all of the crap that is being said by everybody. I'm not going to point out one side or act like Trump's not sitting there lighting fires. We all know he's throwing bombs just like everybody else is, right? How about we ignore that, and how about we discuss the actual things that are happening? And what I found amazing is how many times when I'm talking to people, and like I got a buddy who I went to college with, he used to be a Republican, and since Obama, he's basically been a Democrat. And and I say basically because I don't think he's a card-carrying Democrat type of guy, but he's voted that way basically since Obama. You know, my uncle, he's very much the same way. And when I start talking to them, they start bringing stuff up to me, and I reply to them with other information. They're like completely like, where are you hearing this?
Where'd you get that?
Where did you get that? How do you know about what? Are you
Stop
sure
watching Fox News?
Yeah. And then they say stop watching Fox News. I'm like, dude, I haven't watched Fox News in a decade. I don't even know what's on Fox News. I don't even know who's on their lineup anymore. The only person I know on Fox News is Greg Gutfeld because he's funny, and that's it. You know, and like the more they talk to me with you know, and like I said, you can't talk to the people who get shrill and just you know, you can't talk to those people. But there are people out there who are not like that, who just don't realize what's been going on. They didn't pay attention to it because they didn't get it in their, you know, 20 minutes of news at 5:30 at night from the national broadcast. We all have families. We all have shit we got to get done. I can't fault somebody for not, you know, because they don't like digging into that stuff. I can't fault, you know, it's like me being mad that somebody's not a baseball fan because they're not willing to just dig into the statistics and see how cool it really is. Damn it. It's like soccer fans trying to sell, you know, or hockey fans trying to tell you how great their sport is. I don't care. I just want to tune in Sports Center and see a fight.
Why is it so leaning? Like, honestly, I can't stand a lot of the right wing stuff either, because they get so. I don't know if you ever listen to like hardcore left. They're both so emphatic that it's hard as hell to listen to. Like I can't. It's hard to tolerate. But what I don't understand is why is it like 10-1 in the media? I like.
Oh, that's just hiring. That's just hiring.
I don't understand why. Yeah, but I mean, it's from the. It's
you
from
hire
the too, right? I mean, somebody's got to.
Do you hire people, Zach?
Of course.
Okay. Yeah. So when you hire people, are they people you like?
They've got to align with the mission.
And after a certain point in time, enough people from enough of the elite universities have advanced their careers to a point where they're in charge of all of these networks. They're in charge of the newspaper. They're in charge of the university. And when they hire, and some of these people are very committed to the cause, and when they hire, they may not say it out loud, but that alignment might be the most important thing about the application process. I mean, without a doubt, it can be the most important thing. And so basically, they have cobbled together a group of people who are all in alignment with the way they think. Right. And Yuri Bezmenov did an interview with, I think it was Phil Donahue back in the 80s. And he said the Russian government had been doing this since the 60s of infiltrating the universities and basically working from the ground up of bringing people through the system, hiring them into corporations, hiring them into media, promoting them into government jobs.
I've seen that interview.
It actually happened. It actually happened, and the American public didn't pay attention. And now, you know, over the last 15 years, we've gotten what we've gotten. I mean, that's really what it boils
down to. Jesse Ventura when you need him?
Dead.
I know.
He died, didn't he?
Yeah.
His conspiracy theory stuff was the best.
Well, we still have Alex Jones. They weren't able to totally get rid of him yet. We did lose McAfee, that crazy son of a bitch. John McAfee. He was he was an internet rabbit hole unto himself.
Did they find him dead in a Mexican hotel or something?
I think it was a Spanish prison, like right after he said I would never commit suicide.
Somewhere completely viable to his lifestyle. Totally not surprising. Yeah.
That dude's videos were the craziest things I've ever seen. All right, we're down to the last 5 minutes. We got to wrap this up. I know you guys have businesses to run and stuff to do. It's been a fantastic conversation. So we will make a run through everybody. Mike, you're up. Tell us who you are, what you did, what you do, and if there's any.
Tell me what I did. I'm not going there.
Yes, no confessions.
I know nothing.
No confessions. I'm not a priest.
Never confess.
I'm under no obligation to keep your secret.
That was not me. That was AI. Mike Foot with Summit Lending and Lease Summit. We're mortgage brokers, mortgage loan officer to the stars. That's what I tell everybody. Come and be a star. We got all the programs, all the stuff. People are still buying houses out there. I'm doing a lot of refinances right now. People doing cash out refis and stuff too, bill consolidations, stuff like that. Whatever it is, probably do it.
Have we gotten to a point where the interest rates have actually ticked down to where it makes sense for people to refinance?
It depends. I got people got HELOCs that are higher 8%. You have blended rate. A lot of people. I mean, people. My thing I always ask people all the time. They call me want to pay off a bunch of credit card debt, and then they're bitching about the interest rate or whatever. And I was telling them interest rate is not the issue, and they said, "Yes, I want the best interest rate." And I go, "Then why are you using credit cards?" So you got a 29% credit card or whatever. So they're down. I mean, I'm doing cash out refis in the 6s. So
that's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
7 seems to be the one that's like the ouch factor.
Yeah.
You get into the 6s.
Yeah. Yeah. People are okay with the 6s. When you touch 7, it's like, oh.
It's even me. I'm like, and I've been doing this for a long time, and I've seen a lot of high interest rates, but I was just like, even then, at 7 is the touchy point for me. But whatever. I also do new home buyer webinars every other week. I just started last week. I'm doing one next week.
Right.
They're amazing. I'm actually having a pretty good time doing that.
How do they get into one? How does the first time home buyer get into the
they're actually right now, I don't want to mess up the system, but we're running a lot of Facebook ads. So they come in through a Facebook ad, they go to a landing page and do whatever. I have a call at 3:00 with my guy that set that all up, who's a genius. And
we need to find a way to get that link.
I have a link.
We want to comment on the bottom of this video on the Facebook page, right, so people can
just hold it up check like it out. And then, but I got a link. I actually bought a new domain name that's going to link straight to that when I get it set up. So anyway,
excellent. All right, Zach. Oh, Zach's. What are you doing?
Zach's leaving us. Where are you going?
Pushing buttons.
Zach comes up strategic to help businesses gain, maintain, find profits, and or help get their business ready for sale. By various different ways. We look at joint ventures and alliances and joint ventures, product bundling, you name it. Cost analysis, cost cutting, price analysis, all of those fun things inside of business.
Fantastic. Excellent. And Sandy Reed.
Right now, we are finding a very brisk spring market. I saw in real estate, but we have far more buyers than we have sellers right now. So that's still the dilemma. The inventory is still down. So if anybody's thinking of moving, just have them reach out to me.
Very well. How do they reach you?
816-213-0938. Call or text, or Sandy, that's SANDI at sandyreed.com, SANDIREED.com.
Excellent. And I'm Eric Tiemann. I am the travel agent for the Livin Life and Style Travel Company. You can reach me at 816-744-1405, 816-744-1405, or livinlifeandstyle.com. Guys, I appreciate you being here. We will do this again next week. I will get the invites out to you as per usual. And if you guys know anybody who would like to join the conversation, always looking to expand the group and the panel of guests. So if you know peeps, let them know. I'll and let me know that you've let them know, and I'll extend the invitations out to them as well.
Perfect.
Right on.
All right, guys.
Thanks.
Have a great week. Do well, and we will see you next time.
See ya.